Hi, this is Zak Mir with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes. It is Sunday, the 18th of July, and given the recent liquidity implosion, it's worth trying to dig out some of the stocks which still look relatively steady in current conditions. First one is Ebiquity, where we've got we had a gap through, towards the resistance from May, around 57, 58 pence. Top of the channel here up to 80 pence, maybe on a 2 to 3 month view, and the floor of the channel at 50 pence, so above 50, looking for 80 pence plus perhaps by the end of September. Stock which has the award for one of the widest spreads on the market, which is something of a mystery perhaps, is Fusion Antibodies. Here it looks as though the shares are back towards that £1 to £1.20 support zone. We've had rallies from that area quite a few times, and it looks as though, despite, last week's lack of volatility in the market, or lack of volume in the market, we've broken a trend line there from May. That was around the 125 level, and above that, we can see the shares flip up towards the 180 level again over the next month or 6 weeks. I suppose there's a 10p spread there, so one has to factor in that kind of thing if you are interested in that situation. Perhaps more usual fare is Galantas Gold, where we can see that the shares have been pushing through this rising trend channel, wide rising trend channel from February last year. Top of the channel heading towards 70 pence. Floor of the channel currently around 30 pence, above 30, looking for 70p perhaps over the next 3 to 4 months. But I think the plus point here really is the way that the shares broke that old May peak from last year and hung around there, established that as new support, and then have gone up to another leg, and support still well above old resistance, and rising 50 and 200-day moving averages as well, which gives the whole thing a pretty healthy glow from a technical basis. Another stock which doesn't normally get airtime here on the Bulletin Board Heroes, but as we are digging deep, we've got Ipax Asset Management here for a sort of different kind of stock. Here we've got the shares in an extended breakout since the beginning of last year. I suppose we're in a rising trend channel, if I can draw it correctly, a rising trend channel which is basically in place from the autumn of 2019, heading up towards as high as 16 pence, and the upside valid while we hold above the floor of the channel, currently running through around the 10 pence level, so not a bad risk reward there given the current share price at 11.5. So perhaps 1 to 2 months on the time frame there, maybe going towards the sometime in September for that target if we have a decent acceleration. Onto a stock which is not exactly a liquidity king, but maybe things will change with Mobile Tornado. Here we've had the shares bumping along the bottom of post-November support around what's that, 3.25, 3.5 pence there. A little flick to the upside at the end of last week, which is encouraging. What we'd like to see, I suppose, is a break of this trend line there from back at the beginning of the year, around 4.25 pence. But even so, there might be some people who decide that this is a bear trap reversal, bear trap below November support last month initially, and that we could then head back towards 6p or 6.5p, maybe over the next couple of months. Stock which is, I don't think I've looked at before on a charting basis at all, but here we are with NB Private Equity Partners. Here you can see that the shares have been in a sort of a recovery mode for, it's basically since the start of the pandemic. Top of the channel there from the summer of last year, heading towards the 17 pence level, and perhaps that could be hit as soon as the end of next month. Support here around the 50-day moving average, so we call that around 13.5, so above 13.5, looking for 17 pence. But the key here, I suppose, is the way that we've had a gap through resistance during the week. In fact, 2 gaps last week, pretty impressive. That'll suggest that the shares are going to accelerate, and that 17 pence may be seen sooner than we expect. Another fresh name, fresh face, is coming up next, Stenprop. Here we've got another sort of extended rising trend channel. The top of the channel heading towards £1.90, and that target value while we hold above the last swing low there for the shares, around £1.55. So above 155, looking for 190, perhaps as soon as the end of September. But at least one can say this has been a sort of slow, steady progression rather than the white knuckle ride that we tend to get with many of the smaller cap companies. One of the former market favourites, which seems to be holding up reasonably well, is Synairgen or Synairgen. Here we've had double bounce in the recent past off the 50-day line. So we had a bounce in June off that line around the £1, what's that, £1.30 level, £1.35 level. And same sort of trick again last week, around £1.45. Above the 50-day line on an end-of-day close basis, we could see the shares at least retesting last month's resistance towards the £1.90 area. Best case scenario target here over the next couple of months, maybe going to September, is £2.20 at the top of that November 2020 price channel, rising trend channel rather. And I suppose the fundamental backdrop here is that clearly the COVID situation is not going away, something underlined by the way that Freedom Day doesn't look like it'll offer too much freedom for anyone. Finishing off today with a stock which I look at from time to time, and it seems to be gradually building up here, XL Media. Here we've had a good consolidation in a range between 50 and 55 pence of late. We've got the 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average, well, the 50-day line just starting to tick up again now. Rising trend channel from back in the autumn for the shares, and that suggests that we're heading towards the top of the channel at 85 pence. Probably one wants to see an end-of-day close above recent resistance at 57 pence, let's call it, but looks like the shares are already on their way in terms of the breakout, or potential breakout of the consolidation that we've had for the past few months, and there is the breakout with that resistance line from back in April. Time frame on that, as I said, the next couple of months, and let's see how we go with that. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and see you tomorrow.